In a world where love is tested by past wounds and expectations, hearts continue to beat in silence, holding secrets, longing for warmth, and yearning for healing. This is not just a chapter, it's a turning point. Welcome to Chapter 38 of Love May Pretend. Chapter 38 Pretend. Maan wakes up early in the morning, just like every day. His eyes gently wander to Dadi Mom, who is sleeping peacefully, a soft smile playing on her lips. Perhaps she's dreaming something serene, something that makes her heart lighter. He leans in, kisses her forehead tenderly, and walks over to little Abhi, who is sleeping while hugging his big Dadi Mom. His tiny hands are wrapped around her, and his Dadi lovingly keeps him in her warm embrace. Maan silently wishes his own mother would one day love him the same way. He walks towards Geet, who is sleeping with her head down, looking innocent, just like a schoolgirl dozing off at her classroom desk. She looks adorable, yet he knows this posture will leave her with a backache today. Avvi, how could he let this moment slip away? Last night they parted midway through a conversation. Maybe this sweet separation will remind them of the meaning of togetherness. Seeing Dadi Ma and Abhi asleep, he gently plants a soft kiss on Geet's lips. Just a peck. Her lips remind him of their conversation last night, about how she bit her lips out of nervousness, sweet yet hurting. On the other side of the bed, Dadi saw Maan kissing Geet, but the mischievous woman pretended to be asleep. She is a dusht Dadi Mom after all. Scene shift. Meera bete, do you like my son? Prema asked, her voice filled with motherly curiosity. Wo, actually, me, Meera stammered. She had only met him properly the night before. How could she express that without sounding rude? I like you for my son, Meera. He loves you, I'm certain of it. You see, my sons are flirts, but they've never taken anyone on a date or involved themselves too deeply. Prema shared honestly. I trust him, Auntie. And I trust you too. You've raised him well, Meera replied sincerely. I'm lucky to have you as my daughter-in-law. Prema kissed Meera's forehead lovingly. Meera smiled sweetly, but her heart was nervous. She wanted time for their relationship, to understand her feelings, but how could she hurt anyone? The people around her were good, it's just that sometimes circumstances aren't. They remained unaware that two people had witnessed the whole conversation. While both silently rejoiced, one of them, Dev, was especially happy to see his mother accept his choice. Scene shift. Geet and Meera spent some quality time together. Later, Meera left for the hospital, and Geet headed to the office. Geet's office. Have you shifted everything? Yes, Mom. Hope we don't face any issues? No, Mom. Aman, if you don't want to continue, you can back out. He smiled gently. I started working for Meet Sir, and I want to keep going for him. Okay, let me know if there are any complications. We'll manage, Mom. Suddenly, Geet's phone started ringing. She picked up the call. Hello, Geet. It was Meera. Meera shared the good news about Anupama Auntie. Without hesitation, Geet responded, I'm coming. Hospital scene. Geet hugged Anupama tightly, tears rolling down her cheeks, but they were tears of joy this time. Why did you leave me alone? Mama? Geet cried. Geet, I'm so sorry, Anupama whispered. Why are you apologizing? I knew everything, but because of guilt, I didn't dare speak to you. What do you mean? Geet asked, confused and shocked. Meet told me everything, about him, about Ali, your anger, your pretenses, and about Abhinav. I was the reason for your condition. I was selfish, Geet. That's why I paid the price. I paid for my sins. Geet was stunned by the revelation, but she wasn't hurt. Somewhere deep down, she understood Anupama. Her dreams of making Geet her daughter-in-law had shattered, and since then, she'd lived in guilt. Mama, that was the past. And from now on, we won't cry over what's already gone. I'm a sinner, Geet. No, you're just a mother who wanted her child's happiness. Geet reassured her. We're moving, Mama, tomorrow, after your discharge. But Geet, this place. It's good for all of us. Flashback. Samira stormed into Geet's office. Geet, Don't think you've snatched him away from me. What are you talking about? Don't pretend you don't understand. I really don't. Stay away from my man. Samira's voice cracked with emotion and entitlement. Geet felt a strange fire within her. Anger rose when Samira called him her man. Man is not yours. We were best friends, Geet. He loved me like crazy. Right now, he's just angry because of my mistake. But love doesn't die, he'll come back to me. Geet remained quiet. Her heart believed man could never lie. He might flirt, but if he commits, he stays. But what Samira said next crushed every ounce of hope. Prima auntie wants me to be man's wife. One day or the other, she'll make him realize his mistake. Man loves his family, especially his mom. One day, he'll listen to her. You are the family breaker, Geet, just like you broke the Rathors. Samira, truth hurts, doesn't it? But it doesn't change. Get out. Man was mine before, and he will be mine in the future. That moment, Geet decided. She knew Prima never liked her, it was no secret. She liked Meera, but never her. Geet would do what's best for everyone. She asked Meera about shifting with her, and she would take Anupama too. She had been planning to move for a while, and although her heart had almost changed her mind, now her decision was final. Flashback ends. Scene shift to Khurana mansion. Auntie, you promised me you'd convince Man. But he loves Geet, Samira. You are accepting her, along with her son from her previous marriage? I'm happy if my son is happy. You don't want me as your daughter-in-law now? Samira, I've always wanted you as my daughter, but... Just then, Geet walked past the room and heard the last line. Tears filled her eyes. Whatever you decide is good for all, she told herself. Geet, don't break a mother's heart. You won't find happiness that way. She made Abhi sleep peacefully for the last time there and quietly walked up to the terrace. Terrace scene. Geet stared at the moon, her heart heavy with silent sorrow, her eyes filled with dreams that never found ground. Babaji, why have you written only pain and loneliness for me? I just wanted to be loved, and to love someone in return. But every time you give me something precious, it's only for a short time. Just when I start believing it's mine, you take it back. She closed her eyes. I love him, Babaji. I love him, she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Does he remember that our 3 months end tomorrow? That I will be gone? Will he remember me in the future, or will he move on with his mother's choice? Her heart screamed yes, she should talk to him. But her mind shouted louder. You'll be the reason for a broken family. Man's mother won't accept you. No, Geet, you shouldn't, she said aloud to herself. She shut her eyes tightly. And the tears didn't stop. Man, she whispered one last time. OMG Geet, I lost some precious things. Geet opened her eyes, her heart screamed, and he was here. Geet saw him and asked, trying to mask her feelings, were you lost? Here, Man replied, simply. Means? You are shedding precious tears and asking me where I lost, or what I lost? Geet turned her eyes away. She didn't want him to read them. She knew he was developing feelings for her, but would those feelings remain once he had to choose between his mother and his wife? Or, more correctly, his pretend wife. No, she couldn't let it reach that point. She wanted his happiness, and his happiness was with his family. That much was painfully clear to her. What brings tears to my beautiful wife's eyes? Man asked, his tone soft but concerned. More tears spilled from her eyes. Any decision would have been easier if he had stayed away. But having him so close, this close, always distracted her, always made her heart betray her mind. What happened, Geet? Man asked again, this time in a more serious tone. You love your family, she said, knowing exactly what she was asking. Of course I love my family, Geet. His answer was straightforward, and it cleared every lingering doubt in her heart. Geet knew what he meant, really meant, but still. Family always comes first, so there was no reason to tell him about her departure. Perhaps the separation wouldn't be so hard after all. Man, today I ask you, please talk to me directly. Man, make me yours, Geet said. Yes, Man was right, she was feeling desperate. But she wasn't ashamed anymore. Geet wanted to live this last night in his warm, loving embrace. Her desiring heart begged her to be selfish just this once. She knew it sounded selfish, maybe even cruel, as if she were playing with his heart or feelings, but the only thing she truly wanted was to be loved by someone who loved her. Geet? Man asked, shocked. You also don't want me? Geet felt dejected. Her mind screamed, don't misread it, but her heart said otherwise. You are not even worth being touched, even now. Geet, with her empty, hollow eyes, turned to walk, away from him, and away from his life. She had followed her heart once, and look where it had brought her. Tell me what's bothering you. Man walked up to her and held her wrist, but she didn't turn. I know I don't deserve anything or anyone, that's why everyone leaves me. I don't have complaints with you, Man. I'm going tomorrow, she said in a low, broken voice, and Man could feel her fading, like a candle in wind. Talk to me, Geet. Man's heartbeat slowed just watching her in this condition. Man, I'm tired. Please, just leave me. Man saw her shutting herself off once again. He was witnessing the old Geet, the one who used to hide behind silence and pain. I'm going tomorrow, she repeated, and this time her words slammed into him like a crashing wave. His mind finally caught up with her meaning. What are you planning? Geet took a deep breath. She had been expecting this moment, so she was ready. Man, my 3 months are over tonight. So we're moving to our home as per contract. And our pretended life ends tomorrow. We are not pretending, Geet. Don't you know that by now? Can't you see it in everything that's happened between us? Geet turned her face away. Still silent. Fine then, Man said. In a flash, Man broke a wooden chair and set it ablaze. Geet was shocked. She had no idea where he got the firewood or how he lit it up so fast. Man, what are you doing? She asked, confused and alarmed. Man didn't answer. He simply scooped her into his arms and began circling the fire. I don't know what they promised you, Geet. But I promise you this, I will take away all your pain and sorrow. I will fill your life with happiness. I will love you like no one ever has or ever will. I will be a good husband, a good father to Abhi, and a true partner. I am yours, and you are mine, Geet. Only mine. He then carried her in his arms again, which startled her. Man, put me down. She whispered. It's too late for that, Geet. When they reached their room, Man gently placed her on her feet. Man, Geet said, overwhelmed. Man took out a sacred thread and wiped away the vermilion from her parted hair. Then, without a word, he tied a new Mangalsutra around her neck and filled her partition with sindoor, but today, not for society. Not for any deal or pretense. But for love. Now I can make you mine, Geet, Man whispered. Geet looked at herself. Nothing had changed outwardly, but inside, everything had. She was his, and he was hers. His words sent a shiver through her. When she had asked to become one with him, it was to fulfill a longing in her heart. But his words, his actions, had turned it into something sacred. Now forget everything, Man said. The contract, the pretend, the moving away from here, or from my life. You are taken, Geet. You can't leave me now. Geet bit her lips in shyness and embarrassment. Man, I think we should sleep, she mumbled. Now, I'm not in the mood, Geet. Who sleeps on their first night? Man teased, making her turn redder. Geet hugged him tightly, hiding her face in his chest. Man held her with all the warmth of a man who had found his entire world in a single woman. He took her lips in his M-shaped claim, and this time, there was no one to interrupt them. No hesitation, no middle ground. Man carried her once again to the bed, their destination, where they would not just meet, but merge. They became one, not just in body, but in soul. Man turned her face toward him, the one she had been hiding. She looked breathtaking in her blush, and he vowed to make her blush like that for the rest of his life. Geet closed her eyes. He was just staring at her, and she felt shy, even from her own thoughts. Maan caressed her face lovingly, letting her body feel that his was the only touch it would ever know. Later, Geet turned bold and teased him, just like he had teased her. Her hand roamed over his taut chest, daring and tender.